Action! Hello everyone, it's Bricktopian here, and today I thought I'd show you a look at a quick MOC that I have made. This is a road design that is compatible with the Ninjago City sets. In this example, it's compatible with Ninjago City Markets, which is the latest one. Basically, what I've done is I've used the old style vintage 8-stud wide base plates that they used to do. They're 8 studs that way by 16 that way. And what you can do is make them by tiling them off with dark grey tiles, and then they are the perfect width for one single car. You can double this if you wanted to have 2 lanes, or use a 16 wide one instead of an 8 wide. But I find the 8 wide ones are really good if you haven't got a lot of space and you want to have a single road. Obviously these are harder to get, but you can get them on eBay or Bricklink. And what I've done is I've made them as separate modules so you can remove them, and then you can have a few in a row. In the case of this one, there's 3 modules. This one I've combined 2 of these together as one thing, for one big module, and then I've got this as a separate module, and then that as a separate module. But obviously if you've got 2 base plates, which covers a 64 wide footprint, you can have 4 of these as the width. What I've done for this first one is what you could do is you use these modified tiles that have the edge on that sticks up, and that way it lines up and covers the water that goes over the edge, so it doesn't look like the water would be too high for the road, and that way you don't have to have the road too thick, which is good because you don't want it too thick, because realistically you don't want the road to be too high up. Obviously it looks a bit strange, but what I've done is I've deliberately left it so that part of it, the side is broken down by the water, just because it looks really cool. And then I've used the cheese slopes in trans blue there, and then the regular trans 1x2 tiles there. I know you can see the dark grey underneath, but I think it sort of works because you wouldn't have the black underneath, because that represents depth of water, whereas that literally is just like it's broken away at the road. And I think it makes the road more interesting than if it was all completely perfect. And then I've done that, and then my second section here is actually a bridge. It's like a miniature bridge that goes over the water, so the water runs underneath. And what I've done is I've used these 1x1 clip plate pieces in gold and alternate them, so you get this nice grid effect that sometimes you get on small bridges, like keeps friction on the car tires. And then I've just decorated it with these trans red 1x2 tiles here. And then I've gradually gone up the slope using the 1x2 and 1x1 curved slopes in dark grey, and I'll alternate that as a ramp that goes up. And then what you do is you clip everything together using clips here, and then what you can do is you can actually lift open this like this. Well, I might have just broken it a little bit, but yeah, this opens like this. And what you do is you've got the water in the middle there underneath, and you still got the depth of the black plate. And then what happens is you can have a boat that goes through this bridge, say for example, and then it can go under the road. So you've got a boat, space for an option for a boat, and a boat will fit through there. So that way, if you had a boat, and then the road would obviously have to stop for the car, would have to make the car stop by the bridge coming up for the boat to go under. And then when the boat has gone through, you can then put this back by going like this, and then the car can drive over the bridge, and it comes onto this one, which leaves me to this final module, which is a bigger one. Like I said, I combined 2 of these plates stuck together, and I've used the same technique, and I've got part of the wall breakdown and just a nice pattern here. And I've used this 2x2 printed circular tile that's got the grate on, like grate effect, which I've used to represent a drain that's draining the water. And then I've got a ladybird there. I've got a pizza tile, which could be just like a discarded pizza box someone's dropped on the road. And then most of all, my most fun thing is I used this build technique, which was in Ninjago City Gardens of a dropped ice cream. I used a heart piece in white, because they do these heart pieces in white now. In the garden set, it was in pink, I believe, when they used this technique. But I've done a white one, ice cream dropped, heart, and then I put an ice cream cone upside down, and it uses like that piece that's got the nipple effect on or whatever. And then you just literally put that next to that, and then you've got a blue bird there eating the ice cream. And then you basically just get a nice little road design. And I've used these, which are from the City Roads packs, and I've put 3 of them going this way to represent a zebra crossing, a small zebra crossing on here. But I think it looks really nice like that. And then you could just use pretty much any type of tiles you want in dark grey. I've just used a mixture, but you can use whatever you want really. But it's good to use obviously some of the big ones here, so you can, if you want to attach two pieces together. But I've done that so that it's all done, and then basically, yeah, it combines into one strip. And if you wanted, you could just combine the whole thing. But obviously, this one is quite hard to combine because it's exactly to the edge of this individual module. But you could make a bigger one if you wanted, or whatever. I wouldn't recommend doing a small one because this is the perfect size to get a gradual, like, go upwards of the bridge. But you could make it bigger if you wanted and expand it further across. I just did it in this scenario as well because I thought it made logical sense with this bridge and where boats come under here, for there to be a way to get from here over to, say, if there was a water on the other side or he had another set over here, that would make sense. But obviously you don't have to have one of these, but I just think it's a cool way of doing it. And obviously the bigger you make this, the more unsecure that this mechanism would be. But I just thought it looked really nice, and I like how I've alternated these to fill in the gaps. Because you don't want it too tight. You could literally put the plates right together and not have used this technique. But by doing that, it would be too much friction, I think, when pulling this apart. So it looks really good at the moment. And then you can see we've even got a nice bit of detail underneath in there. It looks really cool. But yeah, it gives it less friction because they're not actually touching, because they're alternating. Whereas if you had this plate right pushed together, then it would be too much friction. But yeah, I think it looks good, and you can put cars on that, which I will show you now, and then I will wrap this video up. So, and what you can do is you can actually put vehicles and stuff on the road, and it looks really nice with Ninjago City Markets in particular. So here I've actually used the the car that's from the LEGO City 2K Drive set, from the modified car set, and the cyberpunky vibe of this really looks really good with Ninjago stuff. So I put this on the road and it fits perfectly because this is only 6 studs wide. And then I've also done some extra stuff, like I've put a cat from the Monkey Kid theme on the road. It's really fun. And then I've added this sort of like little carts that someone pulls, which is from one of the Lego Movie Ninjago sets from I think the one with the piranha mech in, or whatever it's called. But you can use whatever, you get the idea. But you can put stuff on the road like this, and it just looks really fun and really adds to the whole vibe of Ninjago City Markets, and it just like makes it even more awesome. And as you might notice, I've just put a tuk-tuk there, which is from the Ninjago City Chase set. It fits quite well in that little gap there, because some people complain that this set has too much of a gap over there in that area, so that you can park it there. And I know you might go, oh, how can it park there, because there's nowhere for it to drive. But if you've got a road, then this can drive forward and it can come onto the road, and it can be like a weird little parking space or whatever. So, you know, I mean, it's not perfect, but it fills in that gap quite nicely, I think. But anyway, that's all I really need to say on this. I hope you've enjoyed this video and this quick look at my road mock. Hope you like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.